Hello, Dragons. My name is Lee Wood, and I am the Managing Director of Car Doctor, a motoring business with a difference, a unique difference. I'm looking for an investment today of £150,000, and in return for that, we're prepared to give a stake of 15%. You probably are all aware of companies such as NHS Direct and PC Line, both of whom offer help and advice to the general public on health matters and computer problems. My company, which I believe is the first and will be the best, is being designed to offer help and advice to the motoring public. Very simple to understand, and just in the same way as you phone a solicitor or you phone an accountant or anything like that, you pay for the advice you're given. There isn't anyone that's doing that, and I don't see any reason why there shouldn't be someone doing it, and that person should be me and my company. My tools used to be spanners and sockets and screwdrivers. Now it's mobile phones, laptops and other electronic equipment, and I highly recommend it to you. Thank you.
Former garage owner Lee Wood is asking for a £150,000 investment in Car Doctor, a premium rate helpline for motorists who've got problems with their vehicles.
Lee, I'm Duncan.
Hello, Duncan.
I don't get it, Lee.
Okay.
So let's just try a little bit of role-playing, because I'm not
Yes.
really sure what happens.
That is a common perception. People think, how can you fix my car by remote control?
OK, so let's do it.
Yes.
I've got a Ford Escort. It started missing in the third cylinder.
That's
What
quite
can you
right. First of all, that's quite specific information, so I'm going to assume that you've been told that, or is that something you actually know?
Let's just say I know it's missing in the third cylinder.
OK. I would say, do you have any knowledge about working on cars?
No.
So we would then say, do you know a garage that you can go to and just ask them?
Yeah, should I take it to the garage?
No, yes, but the difference is if you took it to a garage, there is a risk, which is what happens, that you take it there and they say you need a new engine, sir.
But wait a minute. I've just rang you, and you've told me to take it to the garage.
You haven't let me finish.
OK.
Don't mind. With all due respects.
OK.
I would tell you to take it to the garage, or one of my advisors would tell you to take it to the garage, and give you specific questions to ask the garage.
Excuse me, at this point, I've definitely said, can you speak to the man at garage, please?
Yes, absolutely. No problem. We have no problem about speaking to the man at garage, because then we speak his language. I can see what you're saying, because you're a bit confused about the information you're being given. We have no problem about phoning the garage. We've had 38 people who have phoned us up about different problems, and it's Brom cars that are...
I could do a few. If somebody rang me and said, my tyre's flat, I would say, it's got a puncture. £1.50.
Yes, but you're really trivialising it. We're not talking about people who would phone us up saying a tyre's flat. We're talking about people who are facing big bills with uncertain information.
The problem I just gave you was fairly simple. And
no, with all due respect, that's not a simple problem. It's a simple effect. It's not a simple cause. It's not simple to diagnose. And the biggest problem...
No, it's not simple to diagnose. That's the problem.
No, it's not.
Anything that's difficult to diagnose, you can't diagnose on the telephone. So tell me a problem you could diagnose on the telephone.
I'll give you an example of people that have come to us and thrown problems at us that have asked us...
Shall I do it? Because I know nothing at all about cars. I got a funny knocking sound in the back of the car.
Right. My personal view with... If we speak to you and you say, I know nothing about cars, I'm in a rush, I want to get this fixed, I would actually suggest that the best, most cost-effective method for you would actually take it for an MOT, because they will check every aspect of your suspension on an MOT.
We've asked you 2 questions, and both of them you've either referred us to a garage or to go and get an MOT done.
But we don't come to you. We're an advice line.
Lee is failing to explain the advantages of Car Doctor. Deborah Meaden is struggling to see the benefit of the service. Duncan Bannatyne has heard enough.
Lee, you haven't convinced me at all that you can in any way help me to solve my problem. It's just a complete and utter waste of time to think you can diagnose a problem in a car by telephone or by email.
Problems with a car. I could give you plenty of other examples, Duncan, that would make you realise that this is possible. You're focusing on something that you think is impossible to solve.
There are.
And I think
there are some very small problems you could answer.
No, there are some very big problems we can solve, and we have done.
A small percentage of problems in cars could be resolved in a Swift. A very small percentage. So you're never going to make any money whatsoever. I'm not with you. I'm not riding in this car, mate. I'm out of it. I'm gone. I'm out.
Duncan Bannatyne is out. Peter Jones needs more financial details to understand how he'd make any return on a £150,000 investment.
Lee, how much money are you going to make in year 1? What are you going to turn over?
If they're all customers like you, maybe not as much as I thought, but I think the ordinary members of the public do have a need for
How
service
much
like
money
this.
will you turn over in year one?
Well, you're shaking me a little bit. I'll have to think about that for a minute, but, you know,
How-
our estimates are based on the fact that there are 29 million cars and light commercial vehicles on the road, and the majority of those... Hang on, please.
I don't want to know. I want to know
you
an
don't
answer
wanna
to
know,
my
but
question.
I'm trying to give you an answer that you will understand and respect.
Year one.
I've not come here, I've not prepared, I've not done the evidence, I've not done the research
Lee, year
to come
one
here
revenue.
and be shot down in flames from day one.
Year one revenue, what is it?
Year one revenue, we estimate about 150,000
How can you generate £150,000?
through calls, through the internet.
Isn't that about 8,000 calls a month at £1.50?
Yeah, we had 5 advisors.
So you need 2,000 calls a week.
No, we had 5 advisors answering 5 calls an hour, 5...
You need approximately 400 calls every working day. How are you going to do that? And how many people?
20 advisors.
20 advisors?
Yeah.
And what are you going to pay them?
£7.50 an hour.
So 20 advisors going to cost you about 21,000 a year for each one.
Yeah.
How much is that?
140...
20,000 per year times 20,
20, sorry.
£400,000 a year to cover the calls when you're generating £150,000.
I'm sorry, I've got my figures wrong.
No, you haven't got your figures wrong. I don't
I
think
must
you're
have
far
done.
wrong.
I'm sorry, you've really shaken me, and I've got to... Because we've worked out our figures.
Lee, who's we?
My financial director, Howard.
Is he here?
Yep.
Shall let's bring him up. Let's chat to him.
Lee's in real trouble. He's been torn apart on his figures by Peter Jones. If his financial director, Howard, can't piece the projections back together quickly, Lee's chances of investment look slim.
We've just got stuck on the first year figures.
I rather gathered you were talking about figures. Good afternoon.
Howard, I'll carry on the line of questioning. What I asked Lee was, what was the total revenue he's expecting in year one? He said £150,000.
Yes.
I said, what do you need to generate that?
Yes.
20 advisors,
20
£150,000 worth of income at £1.50 per call.
No.
So take me through the numbers.
You have shaken me, and I do apologise. I've not meant
No,
trying
take
to
me
It's
mislead you at all.
150,000 revenue. That's generated from 15,000 calls.
15,000 calls.
Yes,
So
that's
it's-
well average bring in £10 a time. So you 2-3 people at most to operate that to that standard.
Howard's clarified the figures, but has he done anything to reassure Deborah Meaden about the business?
I think what you are misunderstanding is the issues that you are going to cause, not solve. Because if you give me advice and my car goes wrong, I'm going to sue the living daylights out of you. So you should be sending me to the garage.
Depends what the
And
problem
the
is.
argument that is going to go on between my garage, who tells me that that's what's wrong with the car, and you on the telephone, who's never even looked at the car, diagnosing something else, it's not going to work. And I'm afraid I'm out.
Deborah Meaden thinks Car Doctor will cause more problems than it'll solve and has declared herself out. Theo Paphitis is ready to say where he stands.
You're at a hiding to nothing. You are going to get embroiled in so much hassle that you'll end up being busy fools.
I disagree.
And you actually won't have operators generating income all the time. You'll have people trying to undo hassle
I disagree.
that's been caused
Sorry.
by dealing with
I've been dealing with hassle for 20 years.
That's right.
It is solvable.
Yeah,
Over
it
the
is.
phone
With time
or...
and money. With time and money, it's solvable. And you haven't got either time or the money.
No.
That's where you've misunderstood your business model. And when you get one unhappy customer, you're going to spend one of your operators a whole day because that person is going to be jumping up and down and screaming. That's the way it's going to end up. And for that reason, I too will not be investing.
Lee's chances of securing £150,000 for a 15% stake in his business are dwindling fast. His only hopes for investment now lie with Peter Jones and Richard Farley.
If you'd have come in today and said, I would like 30,000 to try this idea, I would have said, OK, 30,000, let's experiment with this concept. But £150,000, which is way too much to find out, to experiment with, and valuing your business at £1 million is ridiculous. So I'm out, gentlemen.
Lee has lost 4 dragons and his bid is on the verge of collapse. Only Peter Jones remains.
Have you given up anything to do this?
No, I sold my motor business 4 years ago.
Did you make some money?
Yes, I've still retained the
Are you
fee.
putting any money in this business?
I've done as much
Are you
as
putting any money in this business?
I can do if necessary.
Don't. Don't put 1 penny into this idea, because when you break down, you are not going to phone somebody that could diagnose
But you're
why
focusing on
Will you be
breakdowns,
quiet for
not
1
just
minute and listen? You've got
breakdowns.
2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Please listen.
I'm listening, but
You're
I'm
not.
trying to defend myself
Well, you
because
don't-
I thought long and hard about this before I even put some effort
You
into
don't have to
research.
defend yourself. All you have to do is hopefully absorb something that actually makes you
I'm
go
listening to what
away and
everybody's
learn from
saying.
the experience.
I will
That's
learn.
all.
I'm learning as I stand here.
And Lee, there's nothing wrong with you walking away saying, I'm still going to do it and I'm going to show them and prove to them, because you've got even
I'm
more
not going to do it
determination.
to
That's
prove
great.
to you. I don't have anything to prove to any of you.
I can't invest in you.
No, I understand.
And I'm out.
It's all over for Lee and Howard. After a severe roasting from the dragons, they're leaving the den empty-handed.
If he thinks that's a good idea, he needs a check-up from the neck up.
Lee, how do you feel after that?
I didn't quite realise they were going to be so fierce so quickly. I think we went into some fundamental errors. We overvalued the business. These are very experienced people. They don't give their money away easily. So I think if we come in a bit more realistically and offer them a bit more estate to start, which we talked a lot about, we might have got a better reception. But Car Doctor lives and will live on.
Well done.